Good morning, class 7. Thank you for having woken up very early so that we can conduct this particular lesson without any hitch-up. Yes, as you can see, this is the English lesson of 21st July. Your teacher is Mr. Omondi. We welcome you and enjoy the lesson. Let us look into the following sentences. Let us look into the following sentences today so that we can have a deeper insight of what we have. Substitute the words in bold with their opposite. Substitute the words in bold with their opposite. Previously, we have gone through opposites, forming words and their opposite. And the words we have used to construct these given sentences actually are some of the words which we have been using in singular form so that we could come up with the opposite, which means a word which might give us a negative meaning as far as the actual word is concerned. Now, in number one, we have the word miser. In sentence, it has been used as follows. His father is a miser man, but his son is dash. His father is a miser man, but his son is dash. Now, here we are requested to give the opposite of the word miser. We need the opposite of the word miser. Now, what are we going to give? Most of the times, whenever we are giving the opposite of this word, as I saw in our previous lesson where most of you are giving answers as the opposite of miser is actually mean. Okay, that might be the synonym, not even opposite. But now let us check at the opposite of the word miser. We have generous. We have generous as the opposite of the word mean. But today we are talking about miser. Now let us check. When we talk about miser, actually we are referring to a situation where somebody is excessively mean. Class 7. Mean to an extent that he or she fears using or spending for his own benefit. The opposite of the word miser therefore becomes a scoundrel or spendthrift. A scoundrel, one who squanders a lot, one who spends money unwisely. That is a scoundrel. He squanders. To squander means to use or spend in a way that is not wise, a way that does not show your responsibility with money, your lack of discipline with money. The general ordered his troops to advance. The general ordered his troops to advance. What do we mean by to advance here? Advance here means to walk or move steadily and skillfully so as to attack, because we are referring this particular issue to general, which means this is an army, a troop, which means it is from the barrack where soldiers are. They are out, they are approaching their enemy. So when the soldiers are approaching their enemy, they are moving in a body, which means in one team. This particular group, that is troop, is moving skillfully towards their enemy so that they can launch an attack. Now this forward movement is what we are referring as an advancing. The opposite of advance, therefore, will be to retreat, which means to check that the army is not prepared enough to attack their what? Their enemy. And the enemy somehow is more powerful than the soldiers who are advancing. Now the general will order them to advance, which means they will withdraw from that particular fight. So at that moment we say the soldiers have retreated. Number 3, wise people save money, but dash people spend all they have. Class 7. As previously having been discussed, we realize that when you are wise, which means wisdom, is something that comes from God alone. We cannot go through school so that we can gain wisdom. No. However much you may be learned, however much you might have gone through education to a given standard, actually you can still be lacking wisdom. So the opposite of wise is foolish, while the opposite of wisdom is folly. So don't get confused. Wisdom opposite is folly, wise opposite is foolish. Now, a wise person is one who is using his God-given knowledge and ability skillfully to ensure that he can discern, find out a solution to all, almost all, if not all, problems or situations that human being might face in life. So the opposite of wise is foolish. Both blades of this pocket knife are very sharp. Remember, we are talking about the blades. The blades are very sharp. Now, this issue of being sharp has been brought here referring to a knife. A knife can be sharp, a panga can be sharp, a machete can be sharp. Anything that we use as a cutting tool or a cutting object should be sharp. Now, that is what we are referring to in this case. So the opposite of being sharp is blunt. That is B-L-U-N-T, blunt, which means it cannot cut properly. It is blunt. But remember, in most cases, we also use the word blunt. They use the word sharp to refer to an individual. We can be having a boy who is sharp or a girl who is sharp. You are a very sharp girl. You are a very sharp boy. But what do we mean in that case? We mean that you are smart. You are clever. You are wise. You can do your things in an organized manner, skillfully, with a lot of knowledge and giving good results. You are a sharp boy. You are a sharp girl. In that case, the opposite becomes a dullard. A dullard. Remember, when you are clever, you are also smart. So, the opposite of clever, which is dull, noun form is dullard. So when we refer you as being sharp, then you can also be dullard, the opposite. The church is quite an ancient building. Class 7, we have to be careful when we are referring to somebody being, something being ancient. Ancient refers to something which happened or used to happen in the time of the past or time in the past. Ancient, not today. Something which used to take place in the olden generation, sometime in the past. So the opposite becomes modern. Modern. This church or the church is quite a modern building. Number 6, we wanted to sunbathe, but the wind was very rough. Here is a case where we are referring to wind being rough. So we must be cautious not to say that the wind is smooth. We cannot touch the wind so that we feel it between our fingers. So class 7, when we talk about wind or water or the current in the ocean is rough, we will say that the opposite is calm. Or another word which we can use to mean the same as calm is tranquil. So We wanted to sunbathe, but the wind was very calm, opposite of rough. Or the wind was very tranquil, which means the wind was calm. Any question? Okay, let us go to the next page. Our page is word from the bracket to complete the sentences. Oh, class 7, today we have quite a lot to discuss in this part. Abdi Fattah has just eaten a whole plate of dash bun. The words in the bracket are actually having the same pronunciation. For example, the second one is current, current, and the first one also is current, current. Both of them are read or pronounced as current. Now, which one do we use? A current, the first one, sometimes is used to refer to dry grapes. Dry grapes. You know that grapes is a fruit. So in this case, dry grapes are used to make cakes. Are you seeing? So this cake is somehow the nature of cake which was placed in this plate which Abdi Fattah consumed or ate. So Abdi Fattah did not eat the second current for this. Sorry. The second current cannot be eaten. We will check at its meaning. So we have learned that current is dry grapes which is commonly dried so that they can be used in making cakes or buns. So we will say that Abdi Fattah has just eaten a whole plate of current bun. C-U-R-R-A-N-T. Current, the second one, has commonly three meanings. The first one is happening now, happening in today's life, happening in the modern society, happening in our nation or country today, happening in the world today, something current, something of the present time, taking place at the present time, that is current. We can also use the word current, second one, to mean the movement or motion of water bodies or wind, the ocean current. In your social studies, you have studied more or you have learned more about current. So our answer is the first current. That is what we will use. So the question should be read as Abdi Fattah has just eaten a whole plate of current bun. Class 7. Aisha, you had the question in our previous lesson, that is yesterday's lesson, about this spelling. Now I think we have explained it very well. I can see another question which was also having, let us tackle number 4 first, so that I may answer Abdi's question. Abdi and Mohammed was talking about Marel and Morel. All those words in number 4 are spelled as Morel. Marel, Marel. It is not moral, it is not morel, it is Marel, Morel. So it is our moral duty. The morale, his morale is very high. Now, the dash of the workers is very high today. So we will say the morale of the workers is very high today. What is the first morale meaning? It means a code of ethics that shapes our very behaviors. For example, discipline, honesty, respect, trustworthiness, frankness. Those are examples of morale. Second one, that is morale, means enthusiasm, the vigor or the eagerness to do something, the good spirit that one develops that pushes him to do something. That is the morale. Now we will say the morale of the workers is very high today, the second one. Number 2, you have to dash the apple before you eat it. Yes, Amina, this is not a very difficult part, as I saw in your answer that you wrote the second one. Amina, next time after this explanation, you should know what to talk about. The second one means the sound that commonly come from a bell. But we can also break into a peal of laughter, a sound that we produce when we suddenly break into a laughter. So there was a peal of laughter from the room. I can hear the bell pealing. That is the second one. But first one, peel, is to remove the outer covering of a fruit or a root tuber. For example, potato, we can peel the potato, we can peel the banana, we can peel the orange, we can peel the apples. So you have to peel the apples before you eat it. The first one is our answer. The dash of the army is not very far now, even though we are seeing far, which can bring this sentence to a challenge. But we have to know the meaning of route, second one, and route. Route, second one, is a path or a way that we follow to lead us somewhere, second one. Which route should I take? The same as which way should I follow that will lead me to your house? Route. But route, both of them are, remember, all these words are spelled the same. We have route, morale, peel, current. So there is no word which is spelled differently from the others. The only difference we have here is their meaning and application. That's why we have to identify how to apply them perfectly. So the route we are talking about is to be defeated, to be beaten to an extent that you don't find a way of recovering again. So since we are seeing the soldier or the army, actually this was a battle. So when a battle is indicated here, we will use this first one, that is route. So the route of the army is not far, very far now. I'm using the first one because I'm seeing the army. But if it was direction, we could have used the second one. So to rout someone, first one, is to defeat someone or to beat someone completely. The dash of the workers is very high. We have already answered that. He failed to prove himself dash for the promotion. Oh, yes. Nasra, can you remember the last time we were talking about using prefix ill, where we talked about legible, illegible, while we also discussed this word eligible, whose opposite was formed by in, prefix in, ineligible, while the first one legible, illegible. Second one is the answer to this question. He failed to prove himself eligible for promotion, which means having the necessary qualifications, having the necessary or the required ability and prowess to do something, that is being eligible for something. For example, we had 3 teachers, but only one was eligible for the chance, which means only one was qualified, only one was having the necessary requirement for the promotion. So, but legible means visible, can be read properly. Illegible is something which cannot be read properly. We had discussed this one previously. And therefore, Nasra, I talked about your handwriting the other day. Your handwriting was legible, while your friend's handwriting was illegible. was dirty, disorganized, and was very not appealing to be read. So in this case, our answer is the second word, that is eligible. He failed to prove himself eligible for promotion. Number 6. Amina was served with an ice cream as dash at the party. Dessert. That is the second one. Dessert, dessert. Dessert meaning a fruit or small amount of juice which you can be given after the main menu or the main dish. After you have eaten, you take it. You can take a piece of fruit, you can take just a glass of juice. That can be a dessert. So Amina was served with an ice cream as dessert at the party. That is the second one. 7. Mr. Mohammed was in a fierce dash with his wife yesterday. We talk about duel. Duel with his wife yesterday. A duel is a kind of fight where people entangle each other and commonly ensure that the final result is everybody is on the ground. That is a duel. So Mr. Mohammed was in a fierce duel with his wife yesterday. I think class 7, this was very enjoyable. I would have liked to see this duel. Now, for peace to thrive in a family, the parents should wear a dash attitude all the times. For peace to thrive in a family, the parents should wear a childlike attitude all the times, meaning the children in the family should see that parents are behaving in a very humble, harmonious, united way where they don't harbor grudges, they don't keep grudges between themselves. Then there is harmony and there is peace and there is humility in the house. That is being childlike. My class, I beg you to be all the times wearing childlike attitude, an attitude which is lovely, honest, frank, does not wear any grudge. That is so good. But don't be childish. The other day I talked about somebody being childish. That is being silly in one way or the other, approving some kind of evil behaviors. That is childish. Number 9, the dash said in the assembly, our dash should never be misunderstood. The principal and the principal. Now, the principal said, that is the head of a secondary school, the head teacher of a secondary school is the principal, P-A-L. So that becomes the first answer. The principal said in the assembly, our principal should never be misunderstood. That is our way of thinking and reasoning that makes us different from the others. That is our principles. Is that correct? Yes. Amina, from today you should understand the difference between principle and principle. Yes, as used in the sentence. Finally, number 9, if you keep it loose, you might lose it. Yes, if you keep it loose. Yes, we should not be very rash and go on believing what the politicians say. The other day I talked about somebody being credulous because she told me that, can you remember so and so was telling me that this girl said something evil about me. Then she always believed that girl. I said, my friend, if you want to live in harmony, you should not be credulous. Why? You should not be believing anything that somebody tells you. That is being credulous. You must be somebody who is wise. Don't be credulous. Yeah, we should not be very credulous and go on believing what the politicians say. Credible is something worthy, something good enough, something with quality, credible, something which we can applaud. It is credible. Oh, your performance is credible. Your performance is credible. Anissa, your performance is credible. Number 2, all the children dash John have returned their books. There we are talking about except and accept. All the children except John, except the first one, except John have returned their books. We can also say all the children but John have returned their books. Number 3. The boys and girls went on picnic. The boys and girls went on picnic. Here we have all together and all together. All together, the first one means as a body, as a group, together, without somebody going alone, together in one. So, since we are seeing boys and girls, they were collected in one vehicle, they traveled in one bus, then by one bus, then we say the boys and girls went on a picnic all together, which means they were in a body, they were together. Not that girls and boys moved in different vehicles. No. Altogether means entirely, completely. I am altogether confused. Number 4. Dasher and tell her not to dash any nylon cloth. Ring her, call her. The last one. Ring her and tell her not to ring. Not to ring. Not to wring. After removing clothes from water, we wring them to remove excess water from it. So do not wring nylon clothes. Do you know how to cook leek? Double E. That nice vegetable? Do you know how to cook leek? Leek is a kind of vegetable. In fact, you like it. So the double E is what we have to take now. Leek is when a container is having a small hole and a liquid is trickling down from it. We say the container is leaking. Water is leaking from this bucket. But also, you should understand that we can leak the information. For example, the other day, you can see what Abdullahi talked about. I promised to give you an examination, and I did not say when I will do that. But Abdullahi simply came and leaked the information that I was going to bring the paper in the afternoon. So you got the information before the exact time. The information was leaked. Who has leaked the examination? Last year's performance was very good, but we realized that the examination was leaked. 6. Please get me sealing wax and a candle. Sealing, not sailing. Sailing is a part of the roof. Gold dash are made from fine dash. Cloth, the second one, material. Clothes, first one, that which we put on. So we say good clothes, the first one, are made from fine cloths. Are you getting that? Yes, let us move. Select the best preposition to complete the sentences. Select the best preposition to complete the sentences. I need more time to take in the situation and form the best idea of it. To take in. Take at number 8. That's where we have the choices. I need more time to take in the situation and form the best idea of it. To take in is to understand. Be keen, understand it, then make proper decision out of what you have understood. Don't just rush. Some of us are falling into trouble because they don't take in ideas very well. Flames were shooting up from the burning house. Flames were shooting up. Remember, even a fish can shoot up from water, but a snake will skim on the surface of water, skimming. A fish shooting up, flames shooting up from the burning house, shooting up. This is Mohammed. It is not a situation where we are shooting guns. Flames shooting up from the burning house. Flames are the tongues of fire, which are jumping up when a house is burning from the cinders and the conflagration. Now, her troubles have grown out of her bad temper. Her troubles have grown out of her bad temper, which means The result of her bad temper is the troubles she is bearing now. Grown out of her bad temper, which means she has caused them the repercussions of her bad temper, the results of her bad temper. Class 7. Don't be temperamental. Don't be high-tempered. You have to know how to control yourself. When you are annoyed, you must be cautious to respond to your annoyance or your anger. Yes. I know some of us here are very, very temperamental. When they are annoyed, they are very troublesome people. He has grown dash a fine and handsome young man. Oh, good. What a lovely statement. We can also say she has grown into a fine and handsome, no, and beautiful. A girl cannot be handsome. A girl is always beautiful. And as you can see in this room, I can't just say, but we have so many beautiful girls. So she has grown into a fine and beautiful young lady. Don't allow anybody to let out this house. To let out a house is to rent it to somebody. Let out. But remember, the other day, when we heard the sound coming from the road, what did we say? I said, oh, who is letting out? Which means, who was wailing? Who was crying that loudly? Somebody was letting out. So to let out can also mean to cry loudly. He cried in pain. Don't cry with pain. Don't cry with pain. Marianne, we don't cry with pain, but we cry in pain. That is, your composition was having something like that. I cried with pain. We cry in pain. One should not try to press his opinions on others. One should not try to press his opinions on others. Yes, if you have an idea or opinion, don't press it on others. Is that correct? That is what we should not do. Yes. And fill the gaps. Oh, class, we only have 5 minutes. What should we do? Let us be attentive, excessively attentive, all ears. No one is allowed to daydream here now, for we have no time to waste. I like your attention today. You are very attentive, and I believe by the end of this particular lesson, we are all going to be at par with our English construction. I love the way you are concentrating today. Number 1. The man is honest and dash. Remember, this is known as word formation. Can you recall what we talked about the other day? Word formation. We change a verb into different parts of speech, from verb to adjective to noun to adverb. We know it. Rely is a verb. Adjective form from rely is reliable. We can also go and form noun, that is reliability. So we need an adjective. So we will say the man is honest and reliable. Number 2, he is a very dash person. He is a very dash person. Alisa. Yes, that is your character, which we are always getting at loggerhead with all the times. Talkative. Talkative is the adjective. Yani somebody is mouthy, talks too much. He is a very talkative person. Number 3, his statement was dash. Imagine, verb. Adjective, imaginative. We can also say imaginable. Then we can form the noun imagination. But here we need adjective. So we say his statement was imaginative. His statement was imaginative. Yes, in our composition writing, sometimes you hear the teacher say, oh, be creative, be imaginative. Yes, Nasra, we have to be imaginative so that we can make our sentence appear real. We should not remain very rash in this matter. We have to ignore verb, ignorant, adjective, ignorance, noun. Remember distance, noun, distant, adjective. Practice, S-E, verb, practice, C-E, noun. So in this case, we say, we should not remain very ignorant in this matter. Number 5. It was very dash action for him. Admirable, admirable, admiration, admirable. It was a very admirable action for him. Yani, the action was good. We liked it. We enjoyed it. It entertained us. We liked the way it was presented. It was a very admirable action for him. What a good action that was. It is our dash responsibility to safeguard our position. That is, it is our collective responsibility to safeguard our position. Collective responsibility. Yes, you can see the nature of questions that we have had. It is a lovely moment as we go step by step to delve into these particular issues of grammar. I like it the way you are participating, and I like your questions in every aspect of this lesson. When it is at this particular point, I love you all. I loved the way you are enjoying the lesson, and I love your participation. Amina, Mohammed, Saida, Amin, you are very good people. Nasra, yes, take notes, do the work I had given before, make sure that we cooperate. Have a lovely moment. Enjoy the rest of your lessons. Have a good day. Goodbye.